but bonus podcast every weekend. I wanted to show you guys this new this new movie. It's by Disney. You won't know that it's by Disney right away because it's through what's Searchlight Pictures. You may have heard of this movie coming out, but it is owned by Disney if you're unaware. It's called Poor Things, and it's a feminist movie. And you might not think that right off the top of the dome, I would call it. Just going to reshare the video here on Twitter in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing here. Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, who I love, Willem Dafoe. You got to talk like this if you're Willem Dafoe. Poor Things. And of course, Mark Ruffalo is a flaming liberal, so, and like not just a liberal, an insane progressive. So you got to factor that in. But this movie is ass backwards, okay? And it's by Searchlight Pictures, which is owned by Disney. So if you thought, oh, it's like, I was just like, who distributed this movie? And it turned out to be Disney. I didn't know that going into this. I just thought like this is an insane movie. So what it is, it's based off of a book from the early 90s. And it's about a female Frankenstein. It's really creepy. So they derive from the original Frankenstein. They're not shy about that at all. Willem Dafoe is a mad scientist. He creates Emma Stone with another man, brings this corpse back to life, this woman that was pregnant with a child, and uses the fetus, as they call it, because they don't want to call it a baby. They use the baby's brain inside her head. So she's got the brain of an infant. And so she starts to grow up, of course, and they can't control her anymore. They can't control this girl no more. They ain't never going to control this girl no more. So, they're saying it's great. This is the perfect woman. We can control her thoughts. We can show her how to be the perfect woman in this time, which means doing whatever we say. And she's starting to get a mind of her own. She's starting to figure things out. We aren't the controlling, oppressive men we thought we could be. Ain't nobody gonna tell Emma Stone what to do. And that's what the movie is. And I'm afraid to tell you that's what the movie is. And it's creepy because what does she start to do when she starts to get a reminder of her own? She, quote, starts whoring. Okay, that's what the movie says. They depict it as whoring. And then in the Wikipedia page, if I can find that, it's really, yeah, the Wikipedia page here, the way they describe what she did. Yeah, okay, I'll show you guys this now. So on the Wikipedia page for the book that they based off of, it says she elopes with the guy and embarks on a hedonistic odyssey around Europe, North Africa, and Central Asia. So what does she do after she gets like her own sense of self-worth? She starts whoring about the country, right? Or the continent, the world even. So listen to some of these reviews, so you guys know it's not just like me saying like this movie's ridiculous and supposed to be, Hollywood Reporter described it as a fiercely spirited, independent woman. That's what they called her character, and they're all praising her for it. The Rolling Stone praised the movie for the character spreading her wings on her own sexed up pro-science terms, which is insane. And then so they talk about all these sex scenes, and then there's a clip from the movie where she's talking to this guy. And so the guy in this clip, to set it up for you, was hired by Mark Ruffalo's character and Willem Dafoe, I believe, to keep tabs on her, to watch her growth, to see how her brain develops. And it's just, you might as well just title this clip "Guy Cucks to Character."
Became much weepy and sweary when he discovered my whoring.
I find myself merely jealous of the men's time with you, rather than any moral aspersion against you. It is your body, Bella Baxter, yours to give freely.
I generally charged 30 francs.
Well, that seems low.
That seems low. So that is the movie in a nutshell. You can excuse it away that they're, trying to be funny there at the end with like, I charge 30 francs, but that's not the movie. The movie isn't, this guy simping for her and she thinks it's ridiculous, and that's the funny part of it, that like he's saying, oh, you can do whatever you want, even being, you're being a skank. What the movie is how great it is that she's freed herself from the confines of being a man, or from the confines of being controlled by men, and now she's free to do it whatever she wants, and that's a wonderful thing. And that's how it is in the book too. But Emma Stone says this herself. She says she wanted to be in this movie because of how freeing it is. Watch this clip.
Do you want to see what the world is really like?
Yes. My name is Emma Stone. I'm playing Bella Baxter in the film Poor Things.
This is Bella. She's an experiment.
She's understanding what it is to be a member of society.
Good evening.
The more autonomous she becomes, the more challenged these men seem to be by it. It's a very, very funny film.
Why do people not just do this all the time?
We must experience everything, Bella. This makes us whole.
Bella!
I wanted to play Bella because it felt like acceptance of what it is to be a woman, to be free, to be scared and brave.
So there you have it. Her own words. It's not just supposed to be clever. It's not just supposed to be, this piece of art. It's supposed to be, this is what's freeing as a woman. This is the true beauty. This is like, you might as well just be flailing your arms around while you do this, right? Well, while you try to say this seriously, this is the beauty of what being a woman is, and escaping the confines of masculinity. And the more they try to control her, the more they realize they can't. And what does it mean, Emma Stone, to be a woman? What's this movie you've chosen? Did this woman become a scientist? Did she become the world's greatest mathematician? Did she invent the car? Did she invent a new engine? No, her way of being defiant and free and spectacular and magic was whoring about in the eastern seaboard of Africa and East Asia. It's like, this is what you want to put forward, Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo, you losers. This is what you want to be known for, is like, I'm in this progressive movie, and these men try to control her. They make her a female Frankenstein. They give her an infant's brain, which is totally not creepy, that we want to have sex with a girl with a child's brain. But and then she breaks the reins and the glass ceiling. She becomes free. Oh, what does she do when she becomes free? Well, she sleeps around. Okay, dude. Like, this is what you want. Like, these are the people writing these things. And I battle with friends about this. I battle with people about these sorts of things. You've got the Last of Us show, with the lesbian couple and the trans, and you've got the new Fallout show, which is a woman in the lead, and you've got the Baldur's Gate game, which I talked about on the weekend on the bonus podcast, where somebody got banned for taking a lesbian storyline out of a medieval game. And they're just like, well, this is just how it is. This is just how the story is. These people are putting these stories in here not because it's a random idea. It's because they want to influence you. They are purposely doing propagandist things to influence you. It's like if I made a movie and then I was just like, all right, the person in the movie the president is going to have orange hair and he's going to be right about everything. We're never going to say the name Trump, but he's going to have orange hair. He's going to be right about everything. Every decision he makes, he's going to talk like this. He's going to say that they did it, and they'll have no idea. But it's not Trump. And then if you have a problem with it, I'll just be like, man, that's just the story, okay? That's just the story I happen to come up with. It's never the case. No guy, no regular guy or girl just writes a story about lesbians. I'm sorry. It's just not your instinct, okay? Maybe if you've written 700 other things, but for things like The Last of Us or Fallout, which are interpretations of video games, no guy who's just like, oh my God, I can't wait to write the Fallout show. It's going to be amazing. Let's put a girl in the lead. Or The Last of Us is an amazing game. I'm going to write this new awesome zombie game. Oh, there's a trans person in it. It's not how a man's mind works. It's not how a regular person's mind works. It's purposefully injected in there. And when people say, well, why can't you just ignore it? It's like, you can just ignore it, but that doesn't mean it's not retarded. Okay. It doesn't mean like you didn't purposely do this to influence people. And you can't say like the reason they kicked this guy off of these Baldur's Gate mods, the website that hosts the mods, they literally gave the reasons because he was against diversity, and anybody taking diversity out of the games will be banned. That's literally the reason. So they can say that the reason why you're not allowed to participate in a game is because you're anti-diversity, but you're not allowed to point out that they're purposely pushing this stuff. So if you believe that whenever somebody comes up and they're just like, oh, it's just, what does it matter, bro? That's just the story. There's just a bionic blue-haired lesbian kissing a reptilian person. That's just the story. If you say that, you're a moron. You're not thinking about these things. Maybe you don't care, that's fine, but if you're not going to think about these things, then don't participate in the conversation about it. I'm not going around, giving complex dissertations on ping pong, which I could, because I'm not in it. So don't just come up here and be like, well, it's just the story, bro. Emma, because this is what they say. Emma Stone says this is the movie where it's amazing. It's about a woman, and it's a woman breaking the shackles. And what's the lesson here? You don't have to listen to a man just be a skank and it's amazing. That's the lesson here. That's their words, not mine. And whether she's full of shit or not, she comes up and she says this. Whether she believes it or not, she comes out and says this because that's the right thing to say. Best case scenario, right? So I'm sorry that they suck. Make better movies. I watched two great movies last night, and one of them was very political. One was about a girl getting trapped at a gas station. She's a bleeding heart liberal, and a sniper pins her down, and he talks about, fake news and all this stuff, and they portray him as a MAGA person. I won't tell you what about the ending, but they make it even. That was a purposely political movie where they even the playing field, okay? Another movie is about black people working in a bank in Chicago in the 80s, and they try to pull off a heist. And on one hand, they're saying, oh, look how held down I am by the man. But on the other hand, they're saying, let's rob people. And one guy and one of the characters, a black kid, is saying, well, no, I'm about to get a promotion. Why would I do this? And they're just like, well, you could just steal anyways. So they're playing both sides. And my point is, you can do something political. You can have a character who's like, I'm breaking free, and the best thing about it is being a skank. But you actually have to, give this lesson in there where something's not true, or here's the other side of it, or you might regret it, something like that. But that's not what they're doing. They're saying this is awesome, whoring about what's the word they use again? Elope on a hedonistic odyssey around Europe, North Africa, and Central Asia. Go on a slutty gallivant of the Eastern Seaboard. That's what they're doing. Okay. Okay. That's what they're doing. Okay. Okay. Listen. Okay. And the book was like that. The author was really weird. He was a Scottish nationalist and separatist. He called the English both settlers and colonists. And he was a little bit liberal in the fact that he was like, anybody from any country who's a settler is okay, but the English colonists are bad. But the funny thing is, there's a review from 1992, and even in 1992, they called it like extremely feminist. They said in this review that the character, Emma Stone's character, becomes a famous campaigner for health education and women's rights, but is defeated by public mockery and the interference orchestrated by profiteering English newspapers. So even in 1992, this story was so feminist that they were like, well, she became a champion of women's rights and health education. But if it wasn't for those damn men, that damn media, she would have been amazing. And the author of the review even called her a feminist doctor with a burning commitment to social justice who is unfairly silenced. So that's where we are. That's where we are on movies.
Turn it up, Jordan.